Yo, good evening, Titan Nation. How's everybody doing? Welcome in to another great edition of Titans and Truth. I'm your man, Chris, a.k.a. Blue Enforcer, and we're going to have a nice episode for you this evening. As you can see, I am chilling in my car because, not too long getting off work. And, got a good workout coming up later. So wanted to go ahead and get this show in this week. Make sure y'all spread the show out to everybody. What's up, AZ Mick? Make sure y'all spread the show out to everybody. Let everybody know what's going on. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let everybody know what's going on because we got some big things coming up and I'm going to be talking about. What's up, Classic Rod? I know you grinding on that second shift. And so I'm glad to hear from you. And, we got a lot of things to get to that I didn't get to go to last week, of course. Since the last show, there's been a trade that the Titans have made. Two players have been released. And what's up, Brandon? What's up, Big Cleaves? And, also there's been some talk about a particular wide receiver. There's some interest. And let's see. And there's another wide receiver on the draft board that the Titans are supposed to be meeting with. So that's the thing that we're going to talk about. And, of course, the big event that's coming up on April 25th, I'll be talking about that, the draft night with the Sigmas, with my fraternity brothers. As y'all have seen on the description, that thumbnail on the episode before you start watching. So definitely get information on that. You can hit me up on Facebook, under Chris A. Newell or under the TNT Enforcers page. That event is all over that page, and y'all probably gonna get sick of me talking about it. So we're definitely gonna get into that. All around highlights. I'll talk about DJ Metcalf in a minute, but that's something big, so I'll talk about that at the end of the show as well. Draft night with the Sigmas, April 25th. That's the day of the first round. If you're in town, if you're in Nashville, it's going to be at the Nashville Urban Winery. Make sure y'all come check it out. A live show is going to be happening while I'll be recording, and a whole lot of things are going to be coming up. I'm going to talk about that, but let's get into the show. Again, make sure y'all share this out on all of the Titan pages or any NFL pages. Make sure you share it out on Facebook. Mention it on Instagram. Under at Titans_N_Truth. Tag me in it. On Twitter at TNT Blue Enforcer. Y'all can tag me in there. And so, definitely talk about it. Spread the word because this is going to be big. But let's get into this. So after I did the show, come to find out, John Robinson decides to trade for a quarterback on Friday. Did not expect this to happen, but it did. So the Tennessee Titans have traded for former Miami Dolphin quarterback Ryan Tannehill. So Tannehill comes in. He's been the Dolphins starting quarterback for 7 years. What's up, K-True? And everything. So, Tannehill comes in. Miami sends Tannehill and a 6th-round pick this year. All we give them back is the 7th-round pick this year and a 4th-rounder next year. So, basically, in the end, all we ended up giving up was the 4th-rounder for next year. We still have the same number of picks that we did last year. Instead of us having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, we just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have picks in all 6 rounds, just not one in the 7th round, and we don't have a 4th-rounder next year. And we restructured and re-signed Tannehill to a 1-year, $7 million deal, which, of course, the Dolphins are paying $5 million of that. So really, we're on the hook for only $2 million on Ryan Tannehill. I think that's a pretty low risk. So, that's a pretty low risk. And everything with that. So, so people are wondering how I feel about that. Butchie Praise on Facebook asked me, how do I feel about Ryan Tannehill being with the Titans? I think this is a great this is a good backup quarterback situation for the team because you don't know if Marcus is going to go 16 games. You do not know if he's going to make it 16 games. And if he's going to go 16 games, this is the year he needs to do it. This is the year he has to play 16 games. Because if he doesn't play 16 games or is not up to snub, he's going to be out of here. Because the Titans are not going to invest $25+ million in a quarterback they can't trust to stay on the field. You got to be able to stay on the field. You got to stay healthy. As a lot of people, especially my guys, Jared and Floyd, would always say, and everybody else has said it, the best ability is availability. You got to be available. If you're not available, what good are you to the team? So, you know, Ryan Tannehill comes in. Yeah, he has a little bit of injury history too, but in his first 4 years, what did he do that Marcus didn't? He started all 16 games in his first 4 seasons. It was only the last 3 years where he had a little bit of a problem. I think his 5th year, he missed like 3 games. And then 2017, that was in 2016. 2017, he tore his ACL in training camp, missed all of 2017. Last year, missed 5 games. So he had a little bit of the injury bug late, but Tannehill really doesn't have to worry about that. I mean, you know, we're only asking him to come in and play about 3 games, try to win those. And I feel better about our situation because Tannehill is miles better than Blaine Gabbert, Matt Castle, or anybody else we've had, Zach Mettenberger, anybody else we've had as a backup quarterback. So I feel better about our situation now than I did about 3 days ago. So that's what I feel about that. Let's see. D09 said he might be better. He might be better than our starter. Well, we'll have to definitely see about that as far as if he is better than our starter. So, you know, yeah, that availability saying isn't always true, Classic Rod says. Bortles never missed a game to injury. Now, again, you're absolutely right. True. Blake Bortles stunk and he didn't miss a game. That's true. However, you got to be available to find out if you do stink or not. You got to be available to find that out. And, you know, and I know Marcus I think Marcus in all has missed 8 games total, but that's a big 8. So I'm not going to say that Tannehill is better than Marcus Mariota. I mean, I think Tannehill could be decent, could win us a few games. He definitely gives us the best backup situation in the NFL. Now, I don't think Tannehill will beat Marcus out. You know, I don't think Tannehill beats Marcus out. However, I think Tannehill will push Marcus to his limit. And right now, this is Marcus's last chance. So John Robinson is trying to put everything on the table, either to push Marcus to be his best or be like, look, got to have a replacement. So, I mean, you have your best case scenario, your middle scenario, and your worst case scenario. Let's start off with the best case scenario. Best case scenario is this. Marcus does well, plays all 16 games, leads us to the playoffs, doesn't get hurt, gets us a couple wins in the playoffs, bang, we resign him long term. And at worst, hey, you can either keep Tannehill as your backup or you dump Tannehill and you go draft a quarterback in 2020 to back up Marcus. Number 2, it is the middle scenario. You know, the middle scenario, which could also be your worst case scenario, but it's the middle. The middle scenario is Marcus doesn't play 16 games or doesn't play well. He gets hurt. Tannehill comes in, wins some games, and is like, you know what? Tannehill's been doing really well. I think we stick with Tannehill. Tannehill finishes it up. You dump Marcus. Tannehill's your starter. You draft a quarterback in 2020. Let that quarterback sit behind Tannehill for a while and then comes in and replaces Tannehill. Or your worst case scenario is that neither quarterback does well, or no matter what happens, hey, in 2020, you can dump both quarterbacks. Because think about it, both of these guys are essentially on one-year deals. So you cannot pay Marcus $25 million. You can dump Tannehill and just start all over at the quarterback position. So, and Class Ride, I hear you. I know what you're saying as far as no to Tannehill starting. I'm just saying, just in case Marcus is out, you know, you got to have a backup plan, and Tannehill is that guy. Let's see, CW said Marcus could dominate the NFL if he could stay healthy. I think J-Rob has not surrounded him enough at that. Now, I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Let's see, D-Motivate saying, everybody be so sensitive about Marcus when you tell the truth. He has been inconsistent since we drafted him. He has shown some promise, but has to be better in fifth year. Class Ross said, I don't think Marcus has to play all 16 games. Even if he missed a couple of games, he has to ball out when he's on the field. True. Let's see. Chuita, I hope I got that name right, said Jarrell Casey, Christian Wilkins. I'm going to talk about that because I like Christian Wilkins a lot. Let's see. Just trying to look at some other comments. Let's see. I think I got everybody so far. Wide receiver and better O-line. I definitely agree with that, CW. Now, let's get to, yeah, he needs to ball out. I definitely do agree with that. Let's see. There was a comment I saw. Missed a couple games to ball out. Okay. You know what? CW mentioned this. This is what I wanted to talk about. CW brought up a good point. He said, J-Rob has not surrounded Marcus with the proper weapons. Now, everything that's happened to Marcus is not all on J-Rob. Now, some of it is. Some of it is. I do agree with that. But you got to think of where Marcus started from. Who drafted Marcus? Rustin Webster. Who was the coach? Ken Wisenkamp, who was supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, but instead, Ken Wisenhunt was the dumb fool who thought it was a great idea for Jeremiah Patasi to block Cameron Wake one-on-one or Olivier Vernon one-on-one in that game that nearly got Marcus killed in his first season and put him out. So, I mean, Ken Wisenhunt is a lot to blame for what happened with Marcus. And Rustin Webster didn't help Marcus either, which is why he got fired. Now, he had his best year under Malarkey and Robisky, but Malarkey and Robisky didn't continue that. You know, they didn't really... They tried to make Marcus and other guys fit what they wanted to do, not necessarily fit what Marcus does best. And that was one of the faults I had on Malarkey and Robisky. They were stale, archaic, dinosaur even, and they never adapted to the situation. And so, and CW, yes, Marcus can throw the ball deep. He's better on the deep ball than he's been. You know, definitely, he's throwing the ball better. He's just got to keep getting better with the accuracy. He does that, he is going to shine. I definitely agree. But, you know, J-Rob does have to also do better with surrounding him. I think this year he's starting to do that. I think a lot of that last year, and this is where I fault J-Rob. J-Rob drafted Tajay Sharp, and it looked like Tajay and Marcus were going to have a good relationship. In a lot of ways, they do. But Tajay started off good in his first year, but then kind of disappeared as the season went on. You know, so Tajay, he's not really that big of a threat. He's a guy that can keep the chains moving. He's not a guy that the defensive coordinator like, we got to shut him down. He's not a threat. Taywan Taylor, and this is the problem I have with J-Rob. He's trying to ride and die with Tajay Sharp and Taywan Taylor. He has a lot of blind faith in them, and they haven't produced. Tajay Sharp should have been our deep threat, our speed guy, but he had to turn into that. Either he doesn't get the routes down, or he drops too many passes. One thing with Tajay has some sure hands, but he's been hurt, and he's been hurt a lot, and just hasn't been as reliable. So, yes, J-Rob should have been doing a better job surrounding Marcus with weapons. And when we say surround Marcus with weapons, it's not just receivers or tight ends. Weapons can also be the offensive line as well, which again, it looks like this year J-Rob has figured it out. I mean, we're bringing in Sappho. We're bringing in Adam Humphries. You know, looking at possibly Jordy Nelson. He's meeting with Deebo Samuel, the wide receiver from South Carolina, who also can return kicks. And so I think, and I'm not saying we draft a receiver in the first round, I think second or third round is the sweet spot for a wide receiver, in my honest opinion. But yeah, J-Rob is trying to go all in, trying to get Marcus together. And I mean, let's think about this. He signed Roger Saffold, cut Josh Klein, brings in Adam Humphries. That's going to push either Tajay or Taywan out the way, and you're still going to go get another number 2. So it's do or die. Marcus has no more excuses. I love Marcus. I did lose a little faith in him in week 17, but I understand. And so, but Marcus it's do or die for him. So let's see. Joseph says, downtown Nashville will be busy next month. We got the draft, Stanley Cup. I agree with that. And I'm going to talk about some stuff going on downtown as well. Let's see. CW saying, think about the Patriot game, deep timing throws. Yeah, we did talk about that. You know, he definitely is better with that. CW saying, I agree. The Walker injury last year really hurt, which it did. The more we think, and plus Matthews walking out on the team, only reliable target, Davis. So J-Rob didn't see that coming. DeAndre says Sharp and Taylor could walk. Class Ross says our wideouts have had butterfingers outside of Delaney. I would say Delaney and Corey. If Marcus played like he played last year, we need to look at another quarterback. It's not all on him, but we need to play better at that position. Definitely need another receiver. That's demotivation. Let's see. Brandon says, always going to build Marcus. He's going to build to Marcus's strengths, but still, if they move on, they'll still be in position to bring in a quarterback that'll work with that offense. So I agree. Again, this do or die for Marcus is either Marcus succeeds and gets that money, or they're going to be looking at another quarterback in 2020. And there's a nice crop of quarterbacks in 2020 that's coming out. So it's do or die for Marcus. And Tannehill will push Marcus to limits that he's never been pushed before. Gabbert, Castle, Benberger, they were never threats. Even though Tannehill won't win the starting job, Ryan Tannehill is a threat to Marcus Mariota. And Marcus better realize that. He better step his game up or he ain't going to be here next year. So that's kind of what I think about that. I mean, I think Marcus needs to take a leap. He needs to, you know, go for 3,500 to 4,000 yards passing, maybe 25 touchdowns, under 10 interceptions, and play all 16 games. So, Butchie, that's the leap that I want Marcus to take. That is what I want to see. Close to 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions or less, 16 games. That's what I want to see from Marcus Mariota. Now, you know, Also with the offense, I really like Adam Humphries signing. At first, I wasn't sure what to think about that, but, you know, hearing him in his press conference and seeing some film on him, I like Adam Humphries. I do. I think Adam Humphries is going to be a good wide receiver for this team. He seems to be sure-handed, ain't afraid to go across the middle. He can make the tough catches, and he's going to get fed because he had to go behind, you know, Mike Evans and I forgot who else, and Deshaun Jackson. He had to be behind those guys. So, you know, you got Corey Davis, you got Delaney Walker, yes, but he's going to get some balls fed to him. But I definitely like the signing. But you also hear that the Titans are interested in Jordy Nelson. They're one of the 4 or 5 teams out there with Jordy Nelson. I don't know how serious that is. I don't disagree with J-Rob at least looking into him. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. He could be our Julian Edelman. I definitely agree with that. And I like that with CW. Adam thrives where Marcus does his most damage. Them quick, short throws over the middle. That is what Adam Humphries does well, and that's what Marcus does well. I think Adam Humphries is about to become Marcus Mariota's new best friend. No offense to Delaney Walker. But also, you know, with Jordy Nelson, I think Nelson wouldn't be that bad of a pickup. I mean, he was still a little bit productive. 63 catches, 700 yards last year with the Raiders. But he's about to be 34 years old. He's getting up there in age. So I don't know if we need a super aging veteran. We need a veteran, but not of that age that's at the end of his career. He might have maybe a good 2 years left in him, but we'll have to see about that. So I don't know. It depends on the money. If it's like 1 year, $4 million, okay, that's not bad. But if it's 1 year, like $7 million, nah, pass on that. So that's what I think about with Jordy Nelson. Also, some other moves that were made, of course, with Tannehill coming in, Blaine Gabbert got cut. Blaine Gabbert got cut. And so, you know, Blaine Gabbert got cut. And also Josh Klein got cut in a surprising move. I was not expecting John Robinson to cut Josh Klein when he did, but he cut Josh Klein. Josh Klein just got signed today by the Minnesota Vikings, 3 years, $15 million. So I think the $2.5 million that we were owe him, I think that goes to the Vikings, I think now. So I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. So I think we've been washed clean of Josh Klein, even though we're on the hook for $3.5 million in dead money. But I definitely like the Roger Saffold signing. Now, I think that leads us in a couple different directions for the draft, but we'll see about that. Rizzo Vegas, what's up with you? Let's see. Classic Rod says, issue is that a good quarterback is that the good quarterbacks in next year's draft may be gone by the Titans pick. I think the Titans should at least go 8-8, 9-7. Would shock me to see them suck with all the talent. I agree. CW says, I'm going to make a prediction here. The Titans are going to have a top 10 offense. Think the explosion comes with Henry, plus a third of Marcus run threat and play action. Okay. They got to win it. And it's not going to be an easy schedule for them to do that, but they're very capable. And you know, with all this talent, I don't think they're going to suck that bad. And plus, history shows that when you've dealt with a lot of injuries one year, you're not going to deal with stuff like that again the following year. So that's something that I think we can hang our hat on. But Josh Klein being cut definitely was a bit of a surprise, but I like it. I'm glad they cut Josh Klein. So we're still in need of a guard unless they move Ben Jones to guard, and maybe at 19 draft Garrett Bradbury. Because Bradbury will come in. He's got to be the center. Jones just got to have to move to guard. That's just what it is on that. Bradbury is a monster. Bradbury can be a game changer along with Saffold. I definitely like that left side. The new offensive coordinator, Shallon, fantastic. You know, it could be nasty. Definitely, CW. I agree. That left side is going to be nasty. I agree. My thoughts, Shallon, on Arthur Smith. I did a whole show about Arthur Smith in the past. Go back and take a look at that. But I do like the idea of him because, you know, he did a very good job with the tight ends. He's been around ever since Marcus has been drafted. So he may have some knowledge of what to do with Marcus. So I definitely like the pickup of Arthur Smith and everything with that. So let's see. Yes. So, you know, the first wave of free agency, is over. And so now you got the second wave where, you know, you're not really going to hear a whole lot because a lot of teams are now going to be focusing on the draft. And yeah, Clarence Rod, you're right. Arthur Smith wants to run with Derrick Henry. Definitely on that. I saw a comment saying, if we draft Bradbury, would Jones stay at center? No, I think Bradbury starts at center, Jones goes to guard. That's what I think about that. Now, I mean, Bradbury has played guard before, but I think center is his position. And man, I would hate that to be where it runs to the left side, where you have Saffold and Bradbury, you double team a block, and then one of them moves off to the next level. Crazy. Crazy that would be. I think the offensive line would be a lot better if you have it. Lawan, Saffold, Bradbury, Jones, Conklin. You have a much better offensive line with that. So, you know, the Titans have begun some of this stuff preparing for the draft. They're scheduled to meet with South Carolina wide receiver Deebo Samuel. And so now I know South Carolina's Pro Day is coming up. Now, we do not know if that meeting with Deebo Samuel is going to be at the Pro Day or if they are going to bring him here to St. Thomas Sports Park for the visit. Because, you know, each team gets 30 allotted visits with draft prospects at their facility. Now, that does not include local talent. So, like Kyle Shermer from Vanderbilt, Jowan Williams, the cornerback. That doesn't count as the 30 visits. Anybody from Tennessee, if Tony Pollard or Darrell Henderson from Memphis come up, that does not count. That does not count as one of the 30 because those are local guys. So that doesn't count. You know, with Deebo Samuel, I got to take a look at some film on him. I hear he's pretty quick. Could probably play in the slot, maybe play outside. He's 6 foot. I can see him outside. He also does return some kicks. He also has ran the ball some, so you can maybe run some trick plays with him. But we'll definitely get deep in the draft as time goes on. You know, like, for example, Mike Vrabel was running drills at Clemson's Pro Day, and he was actually working Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, and he's already built a rapport with both of those guys. So we'll have to definitely see where he goes there. And speaking of the draft, that's something that we got coming up. You know, we're about 36 days away from the NFL draft. It is going to be nuts. I'm telling you, it's going to be insane. So y'all better realize that. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, I mean, they're scheduled to have, they're saying it's predicted to have over 300,000 people the whole weekend. They're going to have concerts. Tim McGraw's going to be performing on Friday night. Dierks Bentley on Saturday. Gospel Gospel Grammy Award winning artist CeCe Winans is gonna do the national anthem on Thursday night. So it's gonna be crazy live. And so what I want to talk about is there's a big draft party. As a lot of you may or may not know, I am a member of, okay, there we go. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Shout out to my brothers. We our chapter, the Eta Beta Sigma chapter, you may have seen this on Facebook. We're doing a draft night party for the draft. It's called Draft Night with the Sigmas. And so it's going to be taking place April 25th. There we go. It's going to take place April 25th at the Nashville Urban Winery. That's 715 Main Street in Nashville. It's a little bit of ways from the stadium, about maybe less than 5 minutes from the stadium. And so, you know, we're gonna have plenty of food. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have the bar is gonna be open there. We're gonna be supplying food. I'm gonna be doing a live Titans and Truth analyzing the draft. We're looking at bringing in some guests to come on the show and also to be there. So you don't want to miss this. Tickets are $20 now. Tickets are $20 now on Eventbrite. It's going to be $30 the day of the event. So you don't want to miss this. It's going to be a big time atmosphere. It's a nice spot. Parking is available in front of the building, the adjacent buildings, and across the street from the Nashville Urban Winery. Go on the TNT Enforcers page, look for the event. Also look on my page, Chris Newell, look for the event, and definitely go to that with my chapter page that's on there. And you can buy your tickets on Facebook. It'll take you to the Eventbrite link, and you can buy your tickets on there. Again, food will be provided while supplies last, so you want to get there early. Okay? This is going to be a big party, so y'all don't want to miss that. You really don't want to miss it. So I'm going to be pumping it out all the time. So believe me, you don't want to miss this party. I'm telling you. So let me see. I'm reading a couple more comments. Vikings had an awful offensive line. I got news for them. It's only going to get worse. CW said, I like Vrabel. How many head coaches go 9-7 with all that stuff that went on throughout the year? I agree, but we got to take it to another level. CW said, how about Hawkinson? There's no defensive targets. Really like him, can block, plus solid receiver. It's crazy you don't have more subscribers. Your content really informative. Thank you for that, CW. And hey, spread the word. That's how we can get more target. That's how we can get more subscribers. And I need more subscribers. So y'all subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Get on with it. Definitely. And I agree with you, Joseph. Adam Humphries is definitely better than Nick Williams. Hands down. I agree with that 100%. You know, definitely spread the word. I need some more Twitter follow. I need some more subscribers on this show. So spread the word. Get them subscribe to the channel and everything. So I think it's growing. I want to get to 500 before the draft. So y'all get out there and help me out. Do some work with me and everything. So that's what I think about that. I think Butchie asked me if I was the owner, what would I do? I would definitely be working on a new stadium. A covered stadium with that. I'll definitely be working on that. Definitely continuing to work on engaging with the fans to get more fans out to the games and things like that, because we need to fill out Nissan Stadium. We need to take control of our house again. And I think that's a work in progress. I think Amy Adams Strunk is doing a pretty good job with that. She's getting better. So I definitely agree with that. But I think I've been answering some questions on here that y'all been doing. Y'all been coming with it. Definitely appreciate that. It's 8. Let's see. Yeah, I think everybody goes back to that drop touchdown pass against Buffalo with that. So that one was crazy. As far as TJ Hawkinson goes, I mean, I hear Hawkinson is very good. Noah Fant good as well. I just don't see us drafting a tight end in the first round, and it's deep at tight end. So I mean, you know, you got guys like Irv Smith, Caden Smith from Stanford. You got some other tight ends. It's very deep at the tight end position. I think you got Jay Steinberger from Texas A&M. I think the Titans have been talking to him as well. So this is a deep draft for tight ends. So you don't necessarily need to get a tight end in the first round. But we'll see about that. You know, if no targets are there, I would trade back. Now, if I trade back and maybe Hockenson or Fan are there, then maybe. But again, I think that first pick has to be a defensive player, whether it's Christian Wilkins or Cleveland Farrell, Brian Burns, Montez Sweat, Dexter Lawrence. If they are able to wait, Jeffrey Simmons, although I would take him in the second round in a heartbeat. The only offensive player I will probably go with is Garrett Bradbury at 19. That's the only pick I'm taking offensively. And I do like the fact the Titans have done damage where, you know, Jacksonville signed that ridiculous contract to Nick Foles. And really Houston and Indy have really not done anything. So, you know, as far as all season, I think we've done a great job. But let's see, I'm going to read a couple more comments before I get out of here. CW says Titans are going to win AFC South, 11-5 or 12-4. National media not really covering them a bit. That's fine. Teams, fine. The teams they hate usually surprise. Definitely. And I agree with T-Row Biscuits. Amy Adams-Strunk is moving us in the right direction. She has definitely done a lot more. She's one of the reasons why the draft is here. So I definitely give Amy Adams-Strunk credit on that. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. We still got to go after Deshaun Watson. I agree. And we still got to keep fixing the defense because we got to put Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck on their butts. Definitely. But y'all, lastly, before I get out of here, again, go get your tickets for the draft night with the Sigmas. Go get your tickets now. They're selling fast. You don't want to be on the outside looking in. You don't want to be the one hearing about it. You want to be the one talking about it. So this is going to be one that we're going to be talking about. And next week... Next week, I'm going to be starting my draft sessions. So I'm going to be talking about positions of need, like defensive line or pass rusher, offensive line, wide receiver, you know, tight end. So I'll be talking about the best players at those positions and where I think we go, where in the draft do I think we go with those positions. And I will release my first Titans mock draft next week. So get ready for that. But y'all, that's all the time I have. Thank y'all for tuning in to Titans of Truth. Make sure y'all follow me. Make sure y'all spread the word. And I will see y'all next week. I will holler. Joseph, you're right. Indoor stadium, nice for Super Bowl, WrestleMania. I wouldn't mind that either. Or the Winter Classic. I wouldn't mind that either. I thought they were going to at least add Paradis or Sappho. But no. Let's have Watson run in circles. Talking about Houston. Yeah, that's true. Definitely with that. But I'm out of here, y'all. See y'all next week. Definitely hit me up if y'all got any more questions.